The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello,
Hello.
everyone. Welcome to the new channel where we help you see the new you. And this is Dr. Mike Chua from Martin, Tennessee. And
This is Bert De Vera. Glad to be back from Corpus Christi, Texas. Welcome to iBusiness Show.
all
right,
right, we are back. And
How are you,
ladies
Mike?
and gentlemen, I have my co-host back. Again, thank you very much for watching. Again, welcome back from iBusiness. This is again Dr. Mike Chua, physical therapist, your alternative career coach. And today, I've got my co-host back, Bert. What's going on? How are you? What happened to you, brother?
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for welcoming me back. Guys, I had the virus. I had the COVID. I caught the virus July 2nd, and today is day 40 of my recovery. And so I'm a lot better. I would say I'm about 98% recovered. So really almost there. So thank you guys for everyone who supported me, everyone who prayed for me, Lloyd, Apple, Mike, and my friends in the social media, of course, my family. So I got to tell you guys, and I got to tell you, Mike, this thing is real. This virus is real. If you guys are still wondering whether you need to wear your mask, whether you need to protect yourselves, washing your hands, I'm telling you from my own experience, you have to. Okay, I don't know where I got it. I'm trying to trace where I got it, but I was in the hospital for 3 days. I was tested July 2nd, and it came back positive after a few days. And the most severe symptom I had was shortness of breath. My oxygen level was dropping to 84. The normal level is about 95 and above. And just walking 10 feet from my hospital bed to the bathroom without the oxygen supplement, my oxygen was dropping to 84. So it was really rough. And I had to have oxygen supplement for 4 days. And then I had some tanks, oxygen tanks that I took with me at home on the fourth day when I got discharged, and I had to put it at 2 liters per minute every day. So with that said, I want you guys to be careful, take care of yourselves, be safe, and you have to quarantine if ever you're positive, because everyone has different symptoms. I have friends right now that are still in the ICU, being intubated, and some have tracheotomy. So it's really tough. So I'm glad to be back, Mike.
Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you very much for that quick testimony. For those people who are actually interested, we're going to be doing a special live video with Bert on the topic on how he recovered and fought back against COVID, and stuff like that. It's going to be a really very interesting story to tell because We're this is called iBusiness, right, ladies and gentlemen. And sometimes when you realize that you encountered a current situation, your business doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. What really matters
Mm-hmm.
at the end is your relationship with your creator, relationship with your family, because business is business. It's just there. What we're teaching you here, ladies and gentlemen, is not just to value your business, but to value your relationship. Like what Bert always says, relationship over revenue, relationship over revenue. So what kind of relationship are you taking care of now, ladies and gentlemen? What kind
That's
of
right.
relationship are you having with your wife, with your kids, with your family, with even your business itself? You know, if you're single and you want to improve your influence and impact in your industries, what kind of relationship do you have? So that's what we teach here. It's not just all about business. We teach you about life lessons, LIFE, leadership, integrity, faith, and excellence. And that's what we want you to have, ladies and gentlemen. But before I keep on going and ask Bert again, thank you very much for watching. For those people who are actually watching live, please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay, because we want to know if you're watching replay. You know how to spell it: REPLAY. All right, Bert. Let me ask you a question there. Aside from
All right.
having COVID, how's the business? How did you manage your business, and how did you survive with you not operating? And did money still come in your business, or what?
That's a very good question, Mike, and thanks for asking that. So, like I said, I was out for 40 days now, and thank goodness, because of the business, money is still coming in. You know, had it not for the business, I wouldn't have survived financially. Can you imagine if I was just relying on my job for 40 days of not working? I would probably run out of vacation pay after the first 2 weeks, right? If I have even any vacation pay. But because of the business that I established way back in 2003, we were able to survive financially. I didn't have to worry, about not working for 40 days because money is still coming in because of the business. And I was just at peace that my family is taken care of as far as finances, and all that stuff. But more than that, I was more at peace, even going through what I went through, knowing that if ever I have to go, if ever I have to leave this world, I know where I'm going. And that's because of my relationship with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And not to sound religious, I know everyone has a different belief. I'm just telling you guys my belief and my peace inside me. I never felt afraid. I never felt anxious when I was in the hospital and while going through all of this, even in my darkest moments where I can hardly get up, I can hardly breathe. But deep inside me, in my heart and in my soul, I was so at peace. It's a peace you cannot explain. It's a kind of peace that just transcends all understanding, right? And that's what the Bible says. And I'm sharing this because if you're a believer, I want you to strengthen your faith. I want you to believe that our God is real and our God is alive. And I was just so at peace, and I just want to share that with you guys. Thank you, Mike, for asking
Amen.
that.
All I can say is amen to that. AMEN. I can't even spell amen. Oh gosh. So thank you very much for sharing your faith, Bert. But I can see Kobe. Thank you very much, Kobe, for saying
Hi,
mabuhay
Kobe.
kayo, Doc Mikey and Sir Bert. And then Tribby, thank you very much for watching. Again,
Hi,
ladies,
Trilby.
there you go. Bert, you want to go ahead and introduce our guest for today?
Sure, sure. So, guys, tonight you're in for a treat. Tonight we have a very special guest. He's a physical therapist from Boston, and just to share with you a quick story on his background, and I'm sure we're going to ask him more questions down, in a little bit. This physical therapist got laid off March of 2020. He got laid off from his job, from his full-time job. But unbeknownst to his employer, he's been working on his business way back September of 2019. So when he got laid off, he was fine. He was doing, he was making money on his business, And so he continued to work on his business. And then a few weeks ago, he was asked by his former employer if he wants to come back and get his full-time job back. Guess what his answer was? No. Okay, he said no. He doesn't want to work for anyone again. All right. So find out why our guest said no in the midst of this era where people are getting laid off, people are getting furloughed. How in the world did this person said no when he was offered his job back? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to our guest for tonight. It's no other than Trevor Larsen, our colleague, physical therapist from Boston, Massachusetts. What's up, Trevor?
Let's go, Trevor!
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Mike, Bert, great to be
You're
here.
good, brother. Thank you very much for coming over. Appreciate you, man. So,
Welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you. Thank you so much, for having
All
me
right.
on. It's a true honor.
Of course, of course. So, Trevor, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, so our audience can kind of know a little bit more about you?
Yeah, sure. So I graduated physical therapy school from Northeastern in Boston in 2017. Always knew I had that entrepreneurial spirit.
hold on, Trevor. Hold on, Trevor.
Yeah.
Before you keep on going, I want to just say the word Boston. Is that how you really say it?
Yeah, you're gonna park the car in Boston.
Is that how you say it, man?
Boston.
Boston. Yep, that's right.
Gosh.
That's where I hail from. So
There you go.
yeah.
All right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so it's been a nice ride. I started signing up with Bert in September after graduating and doing outpatient for 2 years. I actually started being introduced to Bert in April of 2019, and then finally pulled the trigger on his course in August of 2019, and then after that, just followed Bert's course to a T, and it's led me on a crazy roller coaster year. I'm coming up on my 1 year of being in business, and like Bert said, I had the opportunity to go back to my full-time job. I said no because the business was doing so well. I found such fulfillment in the business, and it just is quite the feeling and sensation being an entrepreneur and really contributing to myself, my community, the country, and providing jobs for those who need it. So it's been quite a ride.
I love what you said about
That's awesome, man.
talking about providing not just for yourself but for your community, and providing a job to your fellow therapists and other people around you. So that's the beauty, ladies and gentlemen. That's the beauty of you being owning your own business. You're not only earning just for yourself, you're earning for your community, you're paying taxes, duh, and you're also providing a job to the people around you. And that's what Bert is all about. I mean, just like me, I wouldn't be doing my stuff too without Bert helping me and guiding me. So thank you, Bert, for taking care of us. So all right, go ahead, Bert.
You're welcome, guys. All right. So, Trevor, just tell us a little bit about the ups and downs of running a business. What has been your experience, and would you say that if you would, go back, let's say in 2019, is this something you would do again?
Yeah, very good question, Bert. Yeah, this is no doubt something I would do again. The ups are awesome, and the lows can be tough, as to be expected. But the biggest thing is just all the growth. I feel like I'm a completely different person from last year than I am from this year, in terms of maturity, negotiation skills, learning how to manage a business, run a business, interact with not only employees and patients, but also other agencies that I'm contracted with. And the some of the lows are the fatigue for me, mostly back when I was working full time and doing the business. there would be 12, 16-hour days where I was putting in a full day at the outpatient clinic, coming back doing patients, writing up the notes, taking care of the business, calling agencies in the mornings. And sometimes I look back and wonder how I did it with all those days, basically from September to February. Now I feel like some of the hardest work in setting that foundation is over. And it's been a record June, a record July, and it's about to be a record August. So right now it's not to say smooth sailing, because at any given point there's ups and there's downs, and you got to be prepared for all of it. But it's some of the hardest work I think is behind me, and the fatigue and just sometimes not seeing an end in sight and wondering, is this all worth it? Is this going to work out? Did I make the right decision? Having some of those creeping doubts was the hardest part for me, because it comes in. It's tough because you're almost on an island doing this, because not everyone, there's only one CEO, there's only one president, there's only one founder of the company, and it all rests on your shoulders. And it's a big responsibility, but it's also like really awesome for growth and development and just flourishing as a person. So hopefully that answers that question, Bert.
It's actually amazing. It's actually amazing. I don't know if you are still watching live.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are still watching live, please comment live. If you are watching on the replay, please comment replay. But let me just harp on what Trevor was mentioning about learning how to invest in yourself and actually doubting yourself. There will come a time, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still watching, there will come a time that you will doubt yourself, that you're going to tell yourself, is this really worth it? Is this really worth it? I'm working like 16, 18-hour job a day, not a week, right? A day.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh gosh, is this really worth it? I'm going to tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, it is worth it. It is worth it, because the bigger the challenge, the bigger the victory. The more you put into it, the more you invest on it, guess what? The bigger the return. The bigger the risk, the bigger the victory, right? When you're about to invest on a stock market, guess what? The bigger the risk and the money you put in, guess what? If this, sometimes it goes up and down, but the bigger the return. All right. So another thing that he mentioned here is learning how to let go. Learning how to let go. He had a full-time job. Guess what? He actually didn't want to let go. Actually, he was fired. I was fired too. If I wasn't fired and got let go, or whatever you call that, laid off, got fired, furloughed, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. I wouldn't be able, just like holding on to something. For example, I'm holding on to this stuff. I'm holding on to this water cup. Let me drink first. I'm holding on to this water cup. Guess what? Do you think I can get more stuff on my hand? No. You have to let go something, ladies and gentlemen. You have to let go of something else in order for you to get, another adventure in life. So I really like that. I really like that. And he mentioned too, you feel like you're in an island. You feel like you're in an island. In the Philippines, we have this term called no man is an island. If you cannot do this on your own, ladies and gentlemen. The only reason why he was able to push himself, because he had a coach. Who is his coach? Bert. Who is my coach? Bert. So you need to find somebody that's actually doing it in that way. You can move on to your next level. All right. So let me pass the microphone to Bert. Bert, go ahead. Mm-hmm. You still there, Bert?
So thanks, Mike, for expanding on that. Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for expanding on that. So, and Trevor, thanks for sharing that part of your story. One thing that I can remember that really, resonates with me is a quote that I saw a long time ago, which I'm sure you're doing right now. And that quote says, "People who don't take risk work for those who do." Okay. If you don't take risk, you will always be working for someone. So I'm sure the answer to this question I'm about to ask is pretty simple. Is it worth it? Is it worth building your dream of having your own business? I'm pretty sure your answer is yes, right? So and I want you to kind of share with our audience your progress. How did you start? Did you see the patients first yourself? And when did you hire your first, hire your therapist? And then your second, your third, and how many visits did you do as far as the home health sessions from February when you started to take off and where you're at now? Is that okay?
That's great. Yeah, that's a great question.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, so obviously it's well worth it, especially now. It can be tough to see in the trenches, but no doubt it's worth it. And like Mike said, it certainly helps having a one of a kind coach like Bert. So thank you for that. Um, in terms of ramping up time, when I first started, I got my first contract in October. And then from there, I was doing the patient visits myself. I had one agency, usually seeing about 4 to 8 visits a week just by myself. I wanted to learn how to do the business on my own. I wanted to learn invoicing, to learn like the ins and outs of the business and what it took to be an owner before I started hiring. I wanted to learn the process of referral to payment. And I really started ramping up in January. So I hired my first employee in January. So we only did not too many visits. I don't remember the exact number in January, but we shot up to 73 visits in February, then got up to 102. During COVID, it was a little stagnant. Hovered around 100. Some months a little more, some months a little less. But July was 147, and August we're on pace for 175 to 200, depending on how things shake out. So it's been awesome learning. Once it's a plug and play, so once you implement the course that Bert offers, it's just follow the system. Just he has a proven system. It works time and time again. If you work, he's not going to do the work for you. And like Mike was talking about investing yourself, it's certainly a risk. I remember my heart beating out of my chest when I invested in Bert's course, but because I knew I was on a different path to a new life. And now I can truly say a year later, Bert has transformed my life. And I don't say that lightly because it's not for everything, but in terms of my career
Wow.
and who I am, I'm a different person. I'm a 100% a different person now than I was last year. And it's thanks to all the stuff I've done personally, but the mentorship I've received. So looking to just keep the trend of growth and increasing visits and helping out the community even more so than I've been doing now, and just very grateful for everything.
Oh wow, that is very powerful,
Wow.
Trevor. I just would like to harp on what you said there. No, because Bert, first of all, Bert is alive, right? And second, you mentioned it actually changed your life, right?
No doubt. No
In
doubt.
my case, it changed my wife. No, just kidding.
Uh, yeah.
I
Well,
just would like to
Mike, can I
tell.
interrupt you for one sec? So I wouldn't have been able to do this, but I found kind of like an alternative why for why I'm doing the business, and it was actually today. Kind of sad news. My girlfriend's grandma is dying, and she's actually Filipino, and she's sending money back to the Philippines. And I was able to give her a sizable chunk of money to help offset some of the medical costs. And I would not have been able to feel comfortable giving her the amount I gave her to do that. So yeah, to your point about having the means and to have that investment in yourself and to be able to do that was quite a cool feeling. So thanks for bringing that up, Mike.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for taking care of your uh, your partner in
Yeah,
life, and for sending money there, and thank you for doing that, man, because not all people will do that. And going back to that, ladies and gentlemen, you cannot give what you do not have, ladies and gentlemen. Just like caregiving, you cannot take care of somebody if you don't take care of yourself. Same thing with money. Money, a lot of people would say money is the root cause of evil. Money this, money that. Guess what? That good Samaritan in the Bible will not be able to help that patient, that person, if he didn't have money to put that person in a hotel. It's not the root of all evil. It's actually the lack of money and that love of money. But if you use money to your advantage and you use it to your own good, it's going to help you. It's going to help you. A lot of people would say, oh, this money, money, money. It's not all about money. Look, Trevor's helping somebody because he had the money. I'm helping my wife's family too. That's right. Because I have the capacity to help. Yeah. If you cannot even help yourself, how can you help other people? And the only way for you, I'm very passionate about this. The only way for you to be able to help other people, I mean, yes, if you're an employee, yes, if you got, if you're like a CEO of a company, yeah, why not? You're a CEO of Disney World, right? Yeah, duh. But if like us, we're therapists, we're like simple people, we're not millionaires. Guess what? 170 visits. Is that a month, Trevor?
That's a month. Yep.
170 visits a month, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching here, a lot of people would ask, what's that? Basically, it's a per visit rate, per visit where you see a client or a patient. Let's just say he charged, let's just say for easy number purposes, $100. Let's just say $100. That's $17,000, ladies and gentlemen. Would you earn that as an employee, as a regular therapist? I know, right? No. But the only way for you to be able to multiply and scale that ability for you to be able to help other people, bam, you start your own business, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the reason why Bert is here. That's the reason why he's actually also very passionate in helping people how to start their own business. Bert, I'm sorry, I keep on talking.
No, Mike, that was great. That was great, Mike, and thanks for sharing your passion. And I just want to share real quick a quick experience in my life. Before I started my own business, I used to think that business people are greedy people. I used to think that business people are bad people, until I realized that same reasoning where no, they're not. They provide jobs, they pay taxes, they help in building the community. Now, are there bad business people out there? Of course. I'm not saying people are good, right? I mean, are bad. But I think there are more good business people than bad. Okay? So if you're going to stop yourself from doing business just because you saw some bad business people, I don't think that's right. After all, you can do something different. You can do what, the bad business people are not doing, which is doing what's right. If you do what's right, money will follow. And I agree with Mike. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's not money itself. Okay? If money can talk and you're blaming money for all the evil in the world, then money will probably talk back to you and tell you, what did I do? I didn't do anything to you. You're the one using me for whatever you want. Okay? So money is just a tool. Okay? It's how people use it. It's what people do with it. Okay? So with that said, we're going to continue to break down, how Trevor scaled his business, meaning scaled up, how he grew his crew. But for the meantime, I think we're about in that time where we have to take a quick break. All right?
Yep.
So don't go anywhere. Yeah, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break and we'll be back.
All right, welcome back again from to iBusiness. That was a great gap there. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're watching live, please comment live again. If you're watching on the replay, please type in replay. You know how to type it: Live, and replay, RE playa. All right, again, thank you very much again for coming over. And just a really quick reminder. Just a reminder, this is it. The big picture, Mondays to Fridays. Mondays to Fridays, 7 p.m. That big picture. And HR hotline, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 12 p.m. And of course, the fourth project, Wednesdays and Saturdays, 7 p.m. Usapang Beauty there. I think, Bert, you need to be there, right? Usapang Beauty, Thursdays and Saturdays. And then U-turn with Carmine Ortega Mondays and Thursdays. And the home buyer, Dante Salamat. Dante, you need to talk to Bert. He just earlier, or I think like 2 days ago, it's not true that he wasn't working for 40 days. I saw him, just to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, I saw him going to his house that he was renovating. He showed it to me. So he may not be working on it, but he was pointing stuff to his what do you call that, carpenters or whatever you call that. And then next, the puppet stories with Juan Lu every Tuesdays and Fridays. And the marketplace, you guys, you got to support your local community. We're all about businesses. You got to support this, the marketplace, Thursdays and Fridays at 10 p.m. What do you call it? What the mine? You get a comment mine there. And the new one, YOLO. I wanted to be either a doctor or a lawyer, so this is a good show. Mondays and Thursdays at 8:30 p.m. And the talk at Monday 12 p.m. after shift every Wednesdays and Fridays. Money and more Wednesdays and Fridays. And then this one here, the town hall. And the town hall is every first and fourth Saturdays at 7 p.m. And then one day is the second and third Saturdays. Okay, let's go back. Oh, this one here is a new one. It's called The One Day by Brave Chin Chin. Brave Chin Chin. You see that little girl there? That's one day. It's actually an interesting. I've seen the video. It's pretty interesting. So you guys got to watch on that. But before I keep on going, I see Lala Ferrer, proud of my brother Bert.
That's my sister. Yeah.
People around you. There you go. Bert, you should be reading that. Go ahead and read it.
Well, my sister is paying me a compliment. She said, proud of my brother Bert. Continue making a difference in the lives of people around you. You're a road changer, always an avid fan. Thank you, my sis. Appreciate that. Love you.
There you go. I wish I could have my sister say that to me live. All right, Bert, let's go back to you. Let me ask you a question real quick, Bert.
All
right. When you had the COVID, right? And
yes.
Then we'll talk about business. So when you had the COVID, do you have the system in place and everything like that? I know you know, but I'm just asking you now, just for the sake of the show, right? Did you have the system in place, or you still had to direct or delegate or stuff like that?
I had the system in place a long time ago. So, everyone knows what they're supposed to do. Even in my real estate deals, whenever I'm renovating a home or flipping a house, each skills know what I want and they know what to do. From the plumber to electrician to carpenter, foundation guy, roofing guy, you name it, HVAC guy. So it's a matter of knowing what your staff need to do and delegating it in a clear manner to make sure they can execute. Okay. So this is one of the things that business will teach you. It's about leadership, and it's about how you can motivate people around you to do what they're supposed to do without being a dictator. Okay. Without being so bossy. Okay. Number one that you need to do is you got to treat them with respect. Okay. Remember, you don't own them. You're only paying for their time and skills, but you don't own them. Okay. They're a fellow human being, and everyone deserve respect, no matter what your profession is, no matter what your job is. So if you don't show respect, then don't expect respect, because respect begets respect. All right. So that's all I can say, Mike.
Wow, that is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you are still watching live. Please comment live. If you're watching on the replay, please comment replay. Did you hear what Bert said, ladies and gentlemen? When you have a business, it teaches you leadership skills, teaches you real life skills. You know, when you're in school, what do they teach you? They teach you that's wrong. You're 100% wrong. You failed. But guess what? When you're in business, when you're a leader, you learn how to actually get up and do this all over on your own. And one thing that he said, respects begets respects. Can you spell that, Bert? Just kidding. All right. All right, Bert, you want to bring back our guest?
Yeah, before I bring back our guest, I just want to welcome Jen Rosario. She said, hello, Doc Mike and Doc Bert. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thanks, Jen. And, we welcome you to our show. So let's bring back Trevor Larsen, our guest for tonight. There you are. Doing all right, Trevor?
Yeah, doing good. You guys are a lot of fun. You guys have a nice back and forth. It's great.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna keep.
Beer yet, so
we're gonna keep rolling, my friend.
Sounds
So
good.
tell us when did you hire your first therapist, and what discipline? Was it an OT, CODA, PTA?
So my first hire was in November of 2019, and it was a PT. She's still with me, and she's a great employee of my company. She had some travel plans, so she really started in the new year. So she started in January. We were in talks up until then, but really got her going in January. From there, I hired an OT, and then after that, I'm trying to remember all the sequence. But currently, I have a staff of, including myself, there's a staff of 9 of us.
9.
And yeah, 9.
All right.
Everyone's part-time, just following along Bert's model. And kind of going back to Bert's point about expectations, I set that expectation up front where, you're going to be part-time, you're going to be paid per visit. I've had interviews where I've had to say, no, we're not a good fit because you're looking for full-time and I just can't provide that for you at this time, kind of leaving the door open. But I think it's very important to set the expectation of what's required and expected as a therapist and just for the company too. One of the things, I think one of the big selling points for us is I really put a lot of trust and, like Bert said, respect into my therapist. And I think that's why they're so loyal and they really like working for us. For example, I never say, hey, you have to take this visit. I always ask, hey, are you willing to take this visit? And 99% of the time they say yes, but I don't want to be that person to say, hey, you have to cover this and this and this. And I think that goes a long way. Just little things like that. I also gave them bonuses during COVID just for kind of thanking them for being a part of the team. And I think that went a long way. I don't know a ton of people who are giving out bonuses during COVID. Wasn't a ton, but gave what I could. And it's been a great feeling just being able to give back and make a small difference in my life, obviously my life, but in the community's lives and even my therapist's lives too. I can see that they really value what we're doing here and they find a lot of meaning in the work.
That's awesome. Perfect. Man, I can send you my address. You can give me some bonus. And Mike too, right, Mike?
I don't mind, man. I mean, I'm always open. I got 3 kids, 3 kids and there's 2 dogs, man. So just the dog food will help.
All right. Now, just a side note. Correct me if I'm wrong. You may have mentioned this earlier. Did we share in the show that your fiance is from the Philippines? I think you already did, right?
Currently girlfriend, but trending in the right direction. She's from Manila.
She hasn't proposed to you yet, did you?
No, not yet. And she has family in Davao.
Oh, wow.
Davao,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And you've been to the Philippines, right?
I was in the Philippines last July, so it's coming up on about a year, and it was quite the trip. It was a trip of a lifetime. It's a lot of respect for Filipinos and their pancit and lechon and lumpia, and they're family
Nice.
oriented, and it's
You're making me
very
hungry,
warm.
bro.
Very warm people. So it's been a pleasure getting to know the culture. So
Yep.
That's
We
awesome.
are warm. Check
yeah,
Bert's
warm too.
temperature.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh
All right,
well.
Mike, do you have any more questions, Mike, for Trevor?
Well, I have a quick question, Trevor. Normally we ask this, and normally it's Bert who asked this question. Actually, we always ask this: what is your biggest failure in life, and how did you turn it around? What is your biggest failure, and how did you turn it around? So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. First of all, thanks for giving me the space to answer that question. I actually like to think of myself as somewhat vulnerable. This is definitely a vulnerable point in my life. Um, so I failed the NPTE, the National Physical Therapy exam, not once, but twice. It was pretty hard because I saw my friends pass, all my classmates pass, and then I was like, I kind of hoped or assumed that I was going to pass the next time. It was just kind of a blip in the radar, but I ended up failing again, and those feelings of failure were real. I mean, it was very difficult for me to answer to my friends and family, "Hey, Trevor, what are you up to? What are you doing?" Well, I'm studying for the test that I failed twice. But that last time, I between the after the second time I failed, I really turned on the jets, did exactly what I needed to do, got a course to get the practice test and the grades on the practice quiz test that I needed to do, and really grind day in and day out to really make it happen. So failing not once but twice was certainly very difficult for me, and I just persevered, and I think that's what I'm doing in business too. Is just keep on going. I knew that if I did that and just put in the hard work, it would pay off. Again, I had a lot of doubts with the test because I hadn't achieved in the first two times, so it was eating at me every day. But I like to think it planted the seed and built the fire to want to pass the third time and to really take it as seriously as it needed to be taken. So perseverance and this grit to make it happen.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is very powerful, ladies and gentlemen. That is very powerful. He just didn't failed once. He failed twice. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? I also failed that exam, ladies and gentlemen. It is very hard.
Me
But
too. Me too. You're not
you failed.
alone, Trevor.
Mm.
We're all failures here, right? You're a failure. You're a failure. You're a failure. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It doesn't matter how many times you've failed or fallen or got sick. In Bert's case, what matter is how many times you get up and do this all over again, ladies and gentlemen. Failure is just an event. It's
That's
not
right.
you. It's not a person. It's just an event. Yes, yesterday is done. Today is gonna be done in anytime soon. If you're failing right now, if you just got fired, if you just got laid off, if that's you, and if you're failing whatever type of test, you've been rejected, you've been discriminated. Well, Trevor is really good looking. He can't be discriminated. He's so good looking. I get discriminated all the time, He's like, I'm good looking too, man. So just kidding. I get discriminated. If you're being discriminated because of your race, your color, your whatever, your status in life, guess what? It doesn't matter. Just keep going. Just keep going. All right, Bert.
I couldn't agree more. Okay, guys, if you're studying right now because you failed your first exam, your second exam, your third exam, like Mike said, do not give up, because failure is never a person. Let me say that again. Failure is never a person.
But
It
what
is
if your
just
name
an.
is failure? Like, for
It
example,
is not.
Failure Rivera.
It is just an event,
Failure,
guys.
your mom named you Failure. So. Just kidding.
No
Go
one
ahead.
will do that, Mike. Failure is never a person, guys. Remember this. You are not a failure. Okay? You are not a failure. Okay? What you say to yourself is more important than what others think of you. And I just want to let you know right now, I'm encouraging you, you are not a failure. So, with that said, what's the opposite of failure? Winning, right? So we're going on a quick break right now, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about how do you win in your industry. What are the winning tips that Trevor can share with us? All right. So we're going on a quick break. We'll see you in a little bit.
All right.
All right, all
Welcome
right.
back
We are
to
back.
iBusiness, wherein we help you improve your influence and impact. This is Dr. Mike Chua and my co-host.
Bert Devera, live from Corpus Christi, Texas. So we are going to bring back our guest, Trevor, and we have about 10 minutes left in our show. So we're going to go into what we call rapid fire questions. All right,
Should I-
Trevor.
Sounds
Should I
good.
move around?
Good.
Something like that.
All right. Mike, I'll give you the chance to start with your maybe first couple of rapid fire. Let's do it.
You're asking me rapid fire questions, man. Trevor! I'm being crazy here. Trevor, what's next in your business, man?
So the goal for the end of the year is to hit between 250 and 300 visits
Per month?
A month.
month. That's the goal for the end of the year.
Oh,
Per
God.
month.
That's awesome.
I think that's doable, right? I mean,
I think so.
you get
That's
Yeah.
50,
very doable.
let me get a calculator. You get average of 40 or
I'm factoring the
50.
holidays for November and December. They could be a little kind of weird months.
Yeah.
60
yeah.
visits a week, not bad, man. I mean, 60,
Yeah.
70 a week.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good goal. Bert?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next question. How do you win?
How do you win? Hire a great staff.
All right.
So basically surround yourself with mentors, with people, with the employees that care about what they do, and you're only as good as the team around you. Because with this model, it truly is a team and it's a business. It's not just, you're not just a solopreneur, if you will, and you're not relying on yourself. You're relying on other people, and pick good agencies too that respect you, respect your work, and I just think surrounding yourself with good people makes a huge difference.
That's so
That's
true.
right.
That's so true. And part of that mentor method, mentor, this letter T is team. Finding a team that actually believes in you and supports you. So, yeah, go ahead, Bert.
I had this question in my mind, kind of slipped away, but So I
Is that
ask you, how do you win?
secondary sign of COVID?
Maybe, right?
I think that's the mischief.
Maybe. So, Trevor, how do you overcome the moments when you're feeling down? There you go. Because as entrepreneurs, we have highs and lows, right? As entrepreneurs. So, what do you do when you're on your low to get you back up?
That's a good question. I would say I look at it as a wave. So it's having kind of a macro view of it, knowing that if I continue to work even through the lows, that it'll even out at some point. I mean, I played baseball when I was in high school. So I'd get in slumps, right? You go over 10, you go over 15, but then next every at bat's a new at bat. Every day is a new day. Every call is a new chance to get a new agency. So that I think that baseball mentality certainly helped, and it helped build like an inner fortitude to withstand some of those lows and to withstand some of the rejection.
That is
All
very
right.
powerful there, ladies and gentlemen. You want to correlate your business, your personal life, or just your life in sports. Because in sports, you're not always going to win. You're not always going to win. You're going to lose, ladies and gentlemen. Even Michael Jordan. I was just looking at a quick glance on The Last Dance earlier when I was doing some therapy in that assisted living that I contract with. Last Dance, he lost too. And what do you want to do, right, guys? You want to follow, obviously, like Trevor said, get a team, get a good mentor, get a good coach, and then when you're down, you just keep pushing. Like what he said earlier, I was writing whatever he's writing down here. He said perseverance and keep going on. It doesn't like just keep going. What does perseverance means, Bert? What does perseverance means?
Well, basically, perseverance is just not giving up. You know, they did a study on, why are there successful people in business and why are there not so successful, right? They did a study. Is it because of their intelligence? Is it because of they're smart, or is it because they have influence? Okay, at some point that will play, but they found out that most successful people in business just don't know how to give up. They don't know how to give up. They just kept going and going. No one can stop them. They were so focused on what they want to do that they just don't know how to give up. All right? It's all about action. That's
Mm,
perseverance right there.
that is so powerful. They don't know how to give up. If you are the type of person who is what you call intro voice, where you're always just
Intro.
introducing. In the Philippines, we have this group, the singer, like a band. We call them intro voice or intro voice, and most of the people who sing like that, all they know is the introduction to the music or to the lyrics. So, for example, whatever song. I mean, give me a good song like Hotel California, on a night of the highway, something like that. And all you keep on doing is that
Going in my
same,
head.
yeah, that's it. You just do the same lyrics in the first few lyrics and you don't know the whole song. If you're like that, all you do is just keep starting and you're not finishing. Guess what? You're not gonna succeed in this game called life.
Right.
Perseverance, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta keep on going. Stop just starting. A lot of people are like that. They will take action, but they will only do the first step. They will only do the first step, and then after, oh, it's not working. I'm gonna back out and stop. It's not successful. Well, guess what? You only tried it once, just like NPTE. That's like Trevor. He failed once. And would you tell him like, oh, I failed. Oh, I'm a failure. I'm gonna quit. But guess what? Even exercising, when you're exercising, you just don't do one. You just don't two. You just keep on doing it. It's like what Bert said. They don't stop. They just keep on going. So right now, if you feel like you want to give up, ladies and gentlemen, don't stop. Just keep going. Just keep going. Bert?
Don't stop believing. Right? So,
Is that a song? Is that an
oh,
introduction?
yeah, that's karaoke.
All
Sorry,
right.
guys. That's the
Carry
COVID.
over
That's
here,
the
man.
COVID.
The effect of COVID, man. All right.
All right, we're almost done with this show, but before we wrap up, I want to give this opportunity to Trevor. Hey, Trevor, if we have colleagues that are on the fence of starting a business, they just can't pull the trigger, and they've been trying to put it off for so many years. They have this thing in their mind where they say, "Oh, I want to have a business. I'm tired of working in a nursing home. I'm tired of productivity. I'm tired of the politics at my work. I want to do something else." What advice will you give our colleagues?
So what I would say is bring them through a mini exercise, and it's a simple question, but you really have to take it seriously. Is where do you want to be next year, or even in 3 years or 5 years, whatever it may be? And if if the answer is not where you want to be, what you're doing now, then you have to make a change. There's no way around it. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to make a change, a significant change, a life-changing change in your life, you have to do it. And there will always be fear. And you have to feel the fear and do it anyway and just keep on pushing through, and there will be rewards on the backside, on the other side of fear. So think about where you want to be in a year or more, and if you're going to continue down this path, will it take you there, or do you need to make a change? If the answer is you need to make it, if you want to make a change, the answer is you have to do something in your current life to make that change, because there will always be tomorrow, but there's only one today.
Oh wow, that is such a
That's
great
right.
answer there. I would like to ask to that. I always say that. Do something that scares you every
Mm.
day. If you're not scared with
Amen.
whatever you're doing, it means you are in a complacency mode. You are in that comfort zone. You know what the comfort zone is? You're there, your comfort zone. This is the comfort zone. You don't want to
Yeah.
grow. It's like, I just want to go here. This is my comfort zone. Well, guess what? The only way for you to grow, ladies and gentlemen, is to get out of that comfort zone. Do something that scares you every day. You know what scares me every day? I try to argue with my wife. That scares me, all right? But what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is that do something that scares you. Get out of that comfort zone. You know what? There's who's this disciple in the Bible that he was in the boat, Bert, and he wanted to get out of that boat because that comfort zone is the boat, and he wanted to walk in water. And the only way for him
I believe it's Peter.
is it Peter?
I believe
Okay, all
so.
right. So let's say it's Peter. So he wanted to get out of the boat, and he went out of the boat. That is his comfort. So guess what? It was raining. There was so much rain, tornado or whatever you call that, or whatever you call that, typhoon. Is there a typhoon there, Middle East? Well, anyway, there's rain and everything, and that's his comfort. So they're in the boat. Well, guess what? He wanted to walk in the water. He get out. He got out. Now, in order for you to get out, ladies and gentlemen, just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. All right, Bert, you want to close?
Sure. So, last question for you, Trevor. What do you think you need to do to improve your impact in our industry?
So for me to make the biggest impact, the way I look at it is to just serve as many people, as many patients, and as many therapists as possible. If once I get big enough, I want to be one of the number one, if not number two. Well, I want to be number one. We'll put it that way. I want to be number one. Go to home health contracting company in Boston, and to do that, I just need to serve more and more people. And I think that would be very fulfilled, and I think it would make a very big impact on the community.
That's awesome. Well, that wraps up our show for tonight here at iBusiness. If you miss our show, please watch the replay. You can find the replay at the new channel Facebook page. You can also find the new channel YouTube page. So that way you don't miss out on the episodes of the show. Again, this goes in the books. We will see you again this coming Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Central. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mike, for welcoming me back. And thank you, Trevor, for joining us tonight. the iBusiness show, where we improve our impact in our industry. Good night.